initially, but hey ho, we shall see. You're live. Right, I know nobody's here at this moment in time. I'm going to adjust that light because it's absolutely bright as anything. Actually, to be honest, do we need it? No, we don't. I don't think we need it, do we? No, let me settle with that. Right, even though we don't actually have anybody here at this moment in time, just to say this is actually a delayed live stream. I was meant to do this on Saturday, but things changed rapidly, so I've actually moved it to Sunday at 8 p.m. But I'm going to try and do these every 2 weeks on a Saturday at 8 o'clock. So next one will be Saturday, 2 weeks time at 8 o'clock. However, I'm going to start off with the subject of Seikos. It's my kind of own bugbear at this moment in time, especially with Seiko's new way of kind of limited edition models and just the whole palaver of spending absolute immense amounts of money on Seikos, which I do not think they deserve. Now, what's got us riled about this is basically I've got myself here a little yellowfin baby tuna. It's an absolutely excellent watch, and I paid around about £250 for this back in, well, it was around about 2.5 years ago, and it's a great watch. However, Seiko have just released a frost version of this watch, and I absolutely want it. It's just, it looks absolutely spectacular. But the problem I've got with it is it's 600 quid for a Seiko. For goodness sake, it's got a 6R15 movement in, big whoop. It's basically just an upgraded 4R36, which I can pick up for 30 quid. The NE15s, which is the equivalent, I pick up for 120. But this watch cost me 250 quid. I am not going to pay literally another 250 quid more for basically exactly the same watch. And I just want people's opinion on it, because it's, in my mind, I think Seiko are going down totally the wrong route. They've come from a company that's basically was selling decent dive watches at a decent price, and they've now tried to kind of separate between fashion watches and basically watches of dive / basically higher value. The other one that I saw the other day was a Marine Master 300 for £7,000. Now, they're saying that basically it's up to the same level as Grand Seiko, but I don't care what anybody says. When I look at the front of that watch, it just looks like a standard Marine Master 300. And 7k, I would pick myself up a Tudor. I could even actually pick up a Rolex for that price point quite easily. But like I say, I think Seiko have just kind of, well, hitting it out of the water. It's just, I've kind of gone off Seiko. That's why I'm going into my micro brands such as Helm Dollar, Zelos, where you're kind of getting a lot more watch for your money. Like, take into account Zelos, they are charging maybe around about the same price which Seiko's charging for the new range now. However, you're getting a lot more watch for your money, and you're getting a lot of options as well, such as this is a Hammerhead 2. This is actually a prototype. It doesn't have the helium escape valve on. But you could get this with an NH35 movement in, and to be honest, I think it was around about 350 quid at the original price. Or you could get it with an ETA movement in, which then cost you around about the same price I'll be paying for that Frost Seiko. And I know which one I would rather have, because, like I say, and the quality, these are limited edition. Like this one, this model would have been maybe 1 out of 200 watches ever made. I've got actually an Aventrine GMT from Zelos on my wrist here, and this is actually 93 out of 100. You can't get much more kind of limited than that. When Seiko actually putting limited edition models out, which is 7,000, which in my mind, limited edition, I don't care what anybody says. And I think they've just brought out a limited edition 5, and that's going to cost 500 quid. 500 quid. There's 7,000 actual examples in the world, but it's, yeah, it just bewilders us. There's not 500 quid's worth of watch there, full stop. And I think Seiko are now starting to price themselves out the market. And I think, like I say, companies like Helm Dollar are starting to jump on that, because they're actually making a watch that, in all intents and purposes, sometimes is a better spec. But the cost, most of my Helm Dollars cost in between 100 to 150 pounds, which is absolutely outstanding. Sapphire crystal, NH36 movement. Like I say, this Sumo that I got the other day, that one there, that cost me 100 before taxes, because I got stung for 35 quid on this by the great old British government. I was absolutely peeved at that. But this watch here cost me £109. It just really irritates the well, it irritates the hell out of me, because this watch here, if I was buying it off eBay with a Seiko logo on it and maybe a 6R15 movement in, would have been 600 quid. There's not a difference of basically 400 quid in this watch. There just isn't. And I would dare say go Helm Dollar every day of the week, or even WR Watches who sell them as well. Like I say, if you are watching, please put in the comments below what is that's. Like I say, it's open to anybody's conversation. I'm just going on a rant about Seiko because that's what I'm ranting on at this moment in time. Now I am going to switch this light on at the back here because I just think it's a tad bit dark. If I do that, I have actually got a third-party webcam and third-party mic coming, so I'm hoping they are going to come. However, due to this virus thing that's going on at this moment in time, postage and things is getting a bit slow, so I do apologise for that. The other good thing is the wife and kids aren't here, so I've actually managed to get back into my actual bedroom and get some of my actually luxury watches out. So I've actually got my Tudor Black Bay 58 here, and I've also got my Breitling Super Ocean, which I still need to do a review on, but I haven't got around to it yet. But like I say, Seiko, stop actually producing watches that just are way not worth the money. Like I say, you're mass producing them as well. It's just the fact of the matter is, if you're mass producing watches, you're not going to be selling them, well, making them anywhere next to that price when you're building them. Whereas Zelos or somebody like that, who are making basically just batches of 500 or 200 or each kind of theme, they are not going to be going with the same margins as you are, and they are a lot more competitive and a lot more better spec than you are. I can just tell you that for a fact. Now, the other thing I'm kind of getting onto now is, as well, I'm actually getting very close to 1,000 subscribers. Also, I didn't have any beer, so I've had to resort to whiskey. You know, it needs must. But I'm nearly to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm going to wait on to a bit further in the live stream to see if more people actually come on, because I am planning on doing a giveaway when I hit 1,000 subscribers. I will be putting a video up at 1,000 subscribers, but I thought I'll do a live feed, and then obviously anybody who comes along will actually get a sneak peek and actually a bit more of an advantage actually. So I'm hoping more people will come along and actually join the chat, because I don't know. I'll just put in the chat here. Anything with anything goes, just then fire away. There we go. And then it seems like, I don't know if you're hearing us either, so if anybody's out there and you can hear us, please put in the comments that you can hear us. I'm hoping the sound's better this time as well. I've adjusted my mic, and I think was actually over amplifying it and just making it a bit skew whiff, but hey ho, I am here now. So the next thing I've got, somebody asked us the other day, because I actually posted on a group about asking questions through the live feed. I don't know if people are here yet or not who actually asked us the questions, but I shall just start now than asked before. The first one was the Hydra mod, and has it leaked yet? Well, no, I've got it here, as you can see. Hey, Pete Stone, you can hear. Well, that's good anyway. I hope the actual quality of the mic's okay, because like I say, I've done a bit of fiddling around with it. Do have a third-party one coming, but it hasn't arrived yet with everything that's going on. But hey ho. I'm trying to also get my camera set up so I don't use this laptop camera, because it's not the best. It just isn't. It doesn't handle light too well, but hey ho. But just going on with the questions, obviously, if you do have any questions, I am more than happy to take any tangents whatsoever. But the first question that I actually had was, how has the Hydra mod actually, or has the Hydra mod lasted? Now, I've done this around about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't got any leaks, which is actually quite surprising. I was meant to actually keep a air bubble in here for thermal expansion, but that hasn't been the case. I actually was too good at actually getting the oil out. Yeah, genuine from Long Island watches are discussing the lesser quality SKX today. Scene Island version of the SKX watches around 200. Do you know what? Long Island watches is. I want to get my hands on one. I've got a theory behind them, and I don't particularly want to say it in my theory, because I could be totally wrong and totally slanderish. But don't get me wrong. I think he's hit on a great. It's like Helm Dollar. Seiko have took a line of watches out of the equation, which are basically were the bread and butter of divers, which was the SKX series, and people are just jumping on the bandwagon with them. And fair dues, there is a gap in the market there. And £300 for an SKX style watch, which has got sapphire crystal, NH35 movement. All good to the guy, don't get me wrong. And the 300 quid, I think, is discounted as well. I think he's always got a constant discount on his site, which, yet again, I think is another cheeky way of doing things, but hey ho. But I did see the Gentry one because he had a few Rolexes and things on there as well. And it is a good watch. Don't get me wrong, I can't get away with the Urban Gentry channel. I don't know why, it just doesn't rub off on us too well, especially after he basically sold himself out. It seems like the video quality's kind of gone a bit more mainstream, which is one of the reasons I actually used to like Urban Gentry. Was he was quite honest, he was quite down to earth. But since he's actually gone with, I forgot what the company is now, but he's actually now part of a watch brand per se. I feel like the watch videos have got very commercialized and it's just took a little bit away from him. And I've tried to watch a couple of his videos, don't get me wrong, just to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, but he's just not the same watch reviewer that I kind of grew to, I'm not going to say love. Watchbox, that's the one, Watchbox. I don't know what your feelings are on him. I don't know if you think the quality of his videos has gone up since, but personally, I think it's just become a bit too mainstream. It's just me. And like I say, as soon as you start getting wads of money for doing videos, I don't care what anybody says, you are going to become biased. And that's one of the reasons I actually made this channel, for basically getting watches that personally I'm buying. The 99% of these watches are my watches that I have actually bought. So I'm going to be honest, I'm not linked to any company, but it's just one of those things that I feel it's, I think it's just gone too commercialized. Here, loud and clear, you could use the Zelos as a melee weapon to street. Do you know what? You can't actually carry anything in the UK, so anything you can use as a melee weapon is actually good. Because, like I say, the hammerheads you could literally use to hammer a head in. Not that I'm going to do it. You could use it as a hammer. It is a hefty watch. Obviously, the bronze version aren't as heavy as the stainless steel version, which I would have loved to got my hands on, but they all went before I could actually get the money up to raise them. But yeah, you could definitely use that as a weapon. The other one I could use as a weapon is my, I've got my Breitling Steelfish there. That's another hefty watch that comes in at 220 grams, I think, but the lovely watch. But like I say, in the UK, you can't carry jack, you can't defend yourself, you can't do anything. You can get stabbed for free if you go down. If I carried any of these watches in London, even the ones that haven't got a name for them, I would get nicked off us in seconds. I understand. I also like watch me go broke. Did a great turtle. He did actually. The turtle review that I watched of him was great. Also, just to shout out everybody, David. I've actually, to be honest, I watched a couple of your videos before. Absolutely love your channel. If you haven't seen him, go on his video. Click on him. He's got a great thing there. Snacklofter, like I say, thanks for tuning in. Peter Stone, you've been here as well. Like I say, I'm going to try and get these more regular. I'm going to try and get them so it's a bi-weekly thing. Bit late with this one due to things. Like I say, in the UK, the virus thing has just gone off the shelves. Toilet paper, I'm trying to, you know, I've got 28 rolls upstairs. That's more than my actual collection at this moment in time. I've even got hand sanitizer for something that, to be honest, is just basically the common cold with a bit more steroids on it. That might be a controversial view. Do not shout at me for that one, but I'm all go for the UK's government of herd immunity. Anyway, back to watches. I'm not going to get onto that because I've just been listening to the radio full stop on this virus stuff and I'm getting a bit sick of it. But hey ho, we shall see what happens. But yes, like I say, but the Watch Me Go Broke, I find him as a bit more of a down-to-earth guy, a bit more with the down-to-earth reviews. He's honest with his reviews. But like I say, there's a lot of watch guys out there at this moment in time who are doing reviews that when they started were what I wanted to watch. And at the end of the day, I'm actually finding myself subscribing to more kind of smaller channels. And like, if you look at my sub list, if you go on my channel, a lot of them are sub 1,000 subscriber channels, like myself, because they are honest, they are wanting to get their opinions across, and most of the time they're their watches. And if you own a piece and you've paid for that piece, you're going to be very kind of into it. You're going to put yourself into that watch, and if you don't like it, you're going to say you don't like it, which I've expressed. My biggest, to be honest, the same is true for the biggest, the most expensive watch I've actually got, which is my Tudor GMT, which, like most of you know if you've watched my channel, is a way of getting fixed, because Tudor have got this thing about this date issue, which they're not fixing, they're just blindly ignoring it until you get the issue. They then send it back to Switzerland, which no doubt I'll get in a year's time, because everything will be stocked flying backwards and forwards from Switzerland, because they're closing their borders next because of this virus malarkey. I'm not going to get it back anytime soon, I can see it, but I paid £2,610 for a watch that I don't have on my wrist, and that just doesn't sit well with me. When I can get a Zelos, I'm going to go back to Zelos. I've got one on my wrist there. I've got the Aventurine on my wrist there, lovely little limited edition one from them. And I've had no issues with the majority of watches in my collection. The only one I actually have had issues with is my Tudor, which then makes me think, why the hell did I buy a Tudor watch? Don't get me wrong, I've got my little Black Bay 58, which in all intents and purposes is, I would dare say, the best all-around watch you can have in your collection. If you're ever going to get just one watch and you do have enough money to get one of these, this is the watch. You can use it for, like I say, you can use it as a dress watch, a tool watch. I wrap that in cotton wool because I don't want to get, basically, that amount of money for me is a lot of money. It's not like these people who go around with Rolexes on the wrist and use these as like a beta watch. No, that is a kind of wrapped in cotton wool watch for me. I only wear it on certain occasions. But I think I've covered Seiko. I hope most of you's got that conversation about them just being overpriced and limited edition models. If any of you actually know where I can buy a baby tuna frost for less than 600 quid, please drop me a line, because I desperately want one of them, but I'm not paying 600 quid for one, not in a month of Sundays, especially when I've already got my little yellow fin there, which does the job very, very nicely. The other kind of topic I was going to get on with, and I had this bit of a debate with somebody the other day, because like I say, I've talked to a few people and they give us a list of questions they wanted us to do on the live stream. I'm hoping they're going to actually come for us, because I say there's 4 people viewing at this moment in time. I don't know how true that is, because people are commenting with 0, so there could be 10, there could be 50, I don't know. But Helm Dollar, somebody really kind of ripped me head off after doing that sumo review the other day. And I kind of turned around and said, look, it's 95% Seiko, but 100% worth. And that's what the video was called. And it was actually off that conversation I got that title. And he ripped me head off, because he says, how can you say that? They're just totally ripping off Seiko. And I kind of, don't get me wrong, if Seiko weren't doing what they were doing with elevating their prices, I would totally agree with him. I would like, yes, he's ripping it off. However, there's people in the market now seeing it opening, because Seiko are just putting their prices out of the kind of, especially the starting group of people that want to get into watch collecting, and raising it well above the bar. And it's just kind of absolutely stinks in my mind. 700 quid for a watch that basically has a bog standard movement in and basically nothing much more. It really does irritate us. Oh, Omar's Bits and Bobs. Hello there. I'm going to get onto your question now. Any chance you could stick a brown leather strap onto the green by design? I would love to see how this looks. With a big fan of the green Captain Cook and the brown leather strap. I will have a brown leather strap in there. I'm guessing, just to go through, I've got two. Well, I've got one Pagani, I should say. I want to say Pagani Zonda every time. I'm a big car geek as well, and Pagani just brings up Zonda in my mind. But now it's watches. But this is the one I've got at this moment in time, which is obviously the Sub, which I will be doing a full review on. I don't know if you'll be on about that one or the Daytona, which actually has gone back to its customer. He's actually very pleased with it. There'll be a few pictures of that mod around a few watch sites on Facebook at this moment in time. On a brown strap, though, are you sorry, Bits and Bobs, are you on about the actual Sub or the Daytona? Because actually, I think the Daytona actually came when I got it on a brown strap, and it looked very, very nice. And to be honest, I preferred it over the bracelet. Because this is another debate I have with people, bracelets and kind of straps and NATOs. I'm a fan of NATO straps. I just love them just because they're convenient for swapping in and out. Other people just totally detest them. But yeah, don't get me wrong. Some watches just beg to be on a bracelet, such as that Sumo. Actually, this Sumo here, which is the Helm Dollar I just reviewed. That is a bracelet whore. It just loves being on a bracelet. I did try it on a NATO, but it came straight off. It just didn't suit the watch whatsoever. And the other thing with NATOs is it raises it off the wrist by a couple of mils. So it does actually, any big watch with a big thickness, it does actually make it feel a bit top heavy sometimes. Yes, that one, the Daytona homage looked great with a leather strap. Would like to see it on a sub homage. Well, I'll tell you what to do. I've got a pile of straps, and for my next live feed, I would say I would do it now live, but I would have to find where my straps are. I think they're up there in a box. I've got around about 50 odd straps. I kept getting kind of big, kind of bulk loads of them from a company that got like rejects. However, when you got them, they weren't actually rejects. People just sent them back because they didn't like them, but they couldn't resell them. So I got like 10 straps for 30 quid, and they were decent quality straps, were like Zulu divers. So what I'll do is at some point I will actually do that. Now, if you aren't part of my Facebook group, if you go along there, what I'll do is I'll actually post a picture on there with it on a brown leather strap if you want to see it. And to be honest, I would dare say it would look quite good on a brown leather strap. I would say it would also look good on a black one. Like I say, this watch is a very nice watch though. For £60, which I paid for this little Pagani sub design, it was a right steal. This also came in 2 weeks from China. Now this is the other thing with people that want to buy watches on AliExpress. They go, oh, it takes a long time. Don't get me wrong, my Fingine cheap pappy thing, which I've now thrown in the bin because I broke it without actually breaking it, if that makes sense, just stopped. However, I wrote back to AliExpress and gives me money back, so the £13 I paid for it I've got back. However, this came in basically 2 weeks, and I was absolutely astonished, without taxes as well, because UK I would have been robbed for around about £21 in import and handling fees, which makes this not as kind of lucrative. However, they came, and I was absolutely over the moon. I'm not on Facebook, but I'm sure that you're in. I am on Instagram. I'm trying to put more things on Instagram, but I am totally confused with it, even though I am 28. I am 28. I haven't got into Instagram, and I don't really. It's more a young person's thing. I feel old because everybody that's like 18, 19 are in Instagram and Snapchat. I don't have a clue. I feel like me dad and all that, just sitting there going, "What's this?" with Facebook. I'm like that with Instagram. I'm trying my best though. But what I'll do is my next picture I'll put on Instagram, if you follow us, will be that sub on a leather strap. A bit more whiskey. I'm not an alcoholic, by the way. I was going to put beer, but I don't have any beer. I've got plenty of toilet roll, though, so that's all right. But yes, I am getting more into the line of actually getting watch brands that aren't actually mainstream. I've got tons of Seikos, and to be honest, all the Seikos, MySpace was, oh God, MySpace. I've got a MySpace account. I've still got it open and looking at the pictures. MySpace Bebo, I think. Was it Bebo? Was one of them anyway, but that was back when I was a teenager. It was great because you used to be able to message people without them knowing in the school. It was absolutely phenomenal. But yes, MySpace was my thing. That was before Facebook. And then Facebook went and was like, it's not going to take on. But it did, didn't it? By quite a margin. And Instagram is Facebook, if I recall. I feel old. I'm only 28 and I feel absolutely ancient. I do sound a lot older than my years and look a lot older. I had a hard paper round. That's what I had. But anyway... yes, but the other thing is micro brands and things like that. I've got something exciting coming. Actually, I've got 2 watches coming to us as prototypes very soon, and one's actually from a company called Spectre, I think that's called, and he's actually very kindly going to lend us his new Frostbite in green. If you haven't actually looked, go and look for Spectre Frostbite. I'll put in the actual. I'm going to type it in, Frostbite, because I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's what the watch is called, and I'm actually getting a prototype of the green version, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. And it's just come out on Kickstarter, and it's going to be released at the back end of this month at $290, so it's about 150 quid. And for what you're getting, it looks absolutely superb, and it's been designed in such a way that it doesn't look like anybody else's watch. The lug pattern looks phenomenal. The actual dial is spectacular because it's actually got a domed center and then a patterned outside ring, and it just gives it a whole nother aspect. So even though I'm getting the prototype, I am actually going to fund the Kickstarter campaign because it does look like a very, very nice watch. So I would highly recommend going over there to actually have a look at it. And like I say, I will actually do a full review when I'm about. Now, the other thing I'm doing, and I said this, if any of you were actually at the front of the actual stream, is I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers, which is a big thing for me, because when I get to 1,000 subscribers, it kind of, it means I can monetize my videos, which I won't get much, don't get me wrong. I do have a second channel, which has got like 4,000 subscribers, and I get a steady income from that, but I can't do that now with the family. It's like motorbikes and things like that. However, once I get monetized, I'll be able to put more money into the channel. However, as a big thank you to people subscribing, I'm giving away a watch. Now, this is actually it's basically one of these. It's a Casio. W whatever it is, I've forgotten the code for it, but this one I did the Hydro mod on. I actually got a second one in this box here, and it's still got the sticky tape on, so I'm not going to open it. I want to try and keep it in pristine condition, and when I reach 1,000 reviews, or 1,000 subscribers I should say, I will be actually putting that out as a giveaway, and I will be releasing a video to say right how you can actually do it. One's going to be subscribed, so if you've already subscribed to the channel, you're already in the running for this. The video that's going to come out explaining it, it's basically just the same as everybody else. Like, subscribe, that's basically it. And then one of you could get this very nice watch. Don't get me wrong, it's not expensive. And like I say, everything on this channel I have to buy. It's not funded by anybody, so it's out of my pocket. But I would dare say for the money, this watch is absolutely superb. And you can use it as a BT, you can use it as a daily. It definitely feels like more than 15 quid's worth of watch by anybody's standards. Hold off ordering the Orient make or wait until your Spectrum first buy. Do you know what? I want an Orient. I seriously want a Mako. It's one watch brand I haven't had through my hands, and it is a off kind of branch of Seiko. It is owned by Seiko, but it's doing its own thing. I would like either a Mako or would like a Bambino. However, I'm not a big dress watch fan. It's a very tough debate with me with dress watches. The only thing I've got close to a dress watch, I've got my full watch collection behind us, by the way. I'll tell you what, tilt the camera around. That's basically a bit of my collection in my safety box there, and I've got a pile of watches to me right here. But this is the closest thing which I've got to an actual dress watch, which is actually my Seagull. Let's just try and get that there. My Seagull 1963. And it's just champagne dial, nice small, I think it's 38mm size and diameter. It is a lovely piece, but the thing is, which I find with dress watches, is they're not interesting enough. I just find I want something a bit more, and I think, like I say, the closest thing I like to a dress watch is my little BB58. And yeah, Zelos have released the pictures of their new actual dress watch that they're doing. The first dress watch Zelos have actually done, and Elshin has knocked it out of the park, and it's the one dress watch I would actually buy because it looks great. Let's have a look, bits and bobs. Mako automatic. It does. It's not a dress watch, like I say. The Bambinos are the ones I was on about with that, but the Makos are a very, very nice watch. I might get myself one, like I say, but funds at this moment in time, I'm actually saving up a bit. Excuse the sound, it started to rain. My conservatory is making a right clatter there, but ignore that. But when the funds come available, I will actually get a Mako at some point. I do have a Zelos Mako, which has got one of the best dials of any watch I've actually got, Mako V3. And I'm seeing Zelos a lot here, and don't get me wrong, I'm not funded by Zelos in any way, shape or form. I just absolutely love the company, because the watches, the price Zelos have for the watches is absolutely outstanding. Like this one on my wrist here, this is a Horizons GMT. This is actually the special edition for the Facebook group, but originally these were, I think, around about $600, and it's got actually an ETA 2893 movement in there. Now, to get a watch under £1,000 with that movement in is very, very impressive. And even now at the full price, I think it's around about $899. It's still a right bargain. They've got a few bronze ones on the site, and I would highly recommend getting them. Zelos do also have a second GMT coming out this year, which I'm actually going to buy. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to buy. He's already told us what the price is of them, so I'm saving up at this moment in time to buy it. Hence why I'm not buying that many expensive watches at this moment in time. And I'm really looking forward to see what actual Zelos do with that watch. But like I say, please, all yous watching, put a top of the conversation down in that comments there, and I'll just debate the hell out of it. Because like I say, I'm on a roll today. I've done Seiko being too expensive. I've done people going crazy over the new virus that's going around, which I think stupid, and that I'm sufficiently full of toilet paper and antibac. Not that I actually bulk buy, just because I wash my hands regularly, so I need it. It's like all of a sudden people have come with this virus and they've decided, oh, we need all this, wash, wash, wash. Well, aren't you doing that already? Isn't that kind of natural human kind of hygiene? Wash your hands. Humanity, to me, just kind of boggles the brain. Like I say, toilet rolls, meat Meat's another thing. I went into Aldi today. There was no meat on the shelves. Anyway, I've gone off the topic of watches. It's just absolutely outstanding. It just gets me, like I say, no doubt in the next few weeks I will be in quarantine. I will have this virus and I'll have to kind of isolate for 7 days, I think. My company's actually going to start working from home hopefully next week because they don't want anybody to interact with each other to get it, which is a shame because I do have a work laptop, so I will have to work. I like my job, don't get me wrong, but when you work from home, you just having work in your mind just doesn't work, especially when I've got plenty of videos I need to try and edit together. I'm doing one. There's one actually rendering in the background as we speak, and there's a lot more things we could do. Great collection of seagulls, my grill. Hope your bum. Well, you know, I'm trading them for watches at this moment in time. It's a great black market bit. In all honesty, before the whole thing kicked off, I bought 28 rolls just off the bat. I just went, I need 28 rolls of paper. Not hoarding. There you go. And that'll last us for maybe a month, 2 months. Well, not 2 months, you know, a decent amount of time. There's people going in getting 300 bog rolls, for goodness sake. 300 bog rolls. For what? Are you going to wrap yourself up? Is that going to protect you from the virus? I do not think so. I don't know. It just beggars belief with the whole thing. Made it in time for this one. Yes, you did, Levy. Like you say, it's not on the Saturday, but it's on the Sunday. You've just caught us talking about bog rolls, the great watch horology debate about bog rolls. I'm now dealing in bog rolls. So if anybody wants to buy a watch off us, 10 bog rolls will get you a Seiko. Because there used to be 5 bog rolls, they're now 10. Yeah, Levy's just come in on this and just saying, where the hell is this conversation gone? But yeah, great collection of seagulls, McGrail. Do you know what? I was looking on eBay the other day and pick them up for £130 now. They've gone right the way down in price. When I picked up mine, it was around about £220 for those seagulls. They're now gone right down in price. And I would highly recommend getting one. Don't get me wrong. If you're looking for one of these Seagull 1963s, it might be worth paying the money to get it from a reputable kind of dealer, because mine actually came second hand and I didn't know its kind of providence, and I did have to strip it and actually lube it up because it was dry as a bone on the inside. That's the only thing about the Seagull movements that I've had complaints about, is they come with not that lubrication on them, so they do wear out quick. So that's only the one thing I have to say on that one. And you'll be paying double for a bag of dry pasta or rice. Yes, if you can get your hands on them, because there's literally none. The thing is, this is my debate as an engineer, right? People are buying bags of pasta, but they're not buying spaghetti, which is weird, because spaghetti on my front makes space. It takes up less space because you can pack it better, so you can get more pasta to surface area. This is me engineering mind thinking it out there. So get spaghetti, you can fit more in your cupboard. And then when it all blows over and you've got far too much spaghetti, you've got, you know, it's beggars belief. Put it this way, there's going to be piles of people eating boring meals for the next year. How much spaghetti and pasta they get? No, pasta. And also tin tomatoes and baked beans and toilet roll. Oh, and long life milk. That's another thing you can't get. Yeah, by volume makes sense. I'm currently panic buying watches. I am as well. I am totally panic buying watches. I'm literally in the last, like I say, I've bought my Sumo. That's my latest one. I've got just off the record, all years that are on here, I'm getting a Helm Dollar Mass 62 in bronze, which I'm hoping to mod. The other thing I've got, which I'm debating what to do with, I've bought a meteorite dial. I'm going to show you yet again another sneak peek of what I'm actually doing. This here is actually a meteorite kind of Seiko aftermarket dial. Some people would call it counterfeit, but I paid quite a bit of money for that because meteorite, you know, is one of these rare metals, and I'm debating what to do with it. And I'm thinking I'm going to stick that in my new bronze Mass 62 when it arrives. Yet again from Helm Dollar. But yeah, buying volume makes sense, yes. But like I say, it's people have gone mad. Like I say, the media doesn't help either. Like I say, I'm just getting slightly off the watch topic here, because in Britain, everybody's like going, oh, it's, you know, and don't get me wrong, if people die, it is a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it isn't. It is a very saddening thing. And if it happened to me with one of my family, I would be distraught. However, the thing is, you look at the statistics of this virus, it's not as bad. If you look at the statistics of the everyday common cold / flu, it takes a hell of a lot more people. Don't get me wrong, it has infected a lot more people, so there's more data for it. But at the end of the day, this Corona-19 virus, there's going to be a lot of people that don't know they have it. So the data we have is not actually correct. And at the end of the day, we're not going to know the full extent because some people won't even realise they've got it, especially children, because they're the main carriers. They don't actually show that much of a symptom, maybe a sore throat and a bit of a cough. But it's the old people that have got kind of secondary and third kind of, other medical issues which have got the problem, which, yet again, like I say, my grandparents went a few years ago and they grew to a grand old age and they went naturally. But if they were around, don't get me wrong, I would be panicking to hell. But kind of the only thing I'm worrying about is my children, which I've got, like I say, I've got a 3-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. And I'm hoping, like they all say, it doesn't hit children that much. So hopefully that is going back. Let's have a read through. Sorry, I've just gone on a rant and missed the comments. Oh, yes, meteorite, yes. I'm big into meteorite at the moment. I've only had 2 through my hands, but I'm debating whether to get more. Like I say, that one there, that just the single dial cost me £110. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. And I've got another person actually wanting to build with one. So I'm actually talking to Dial Maker at this moment in time to see what other meteorite dials he's got. He's got a few. And don't get me wrong, it's a bit kind of under the radar that they're putting Seiko on the dial, but it makes the watch, don't get me wrong. Some people class it as a bit of a kind of knockoff, but it does look good. Talking about knockoffs, I've picked this up a few months ago. Look, I've got myself a Rolex Deep Sea. That's a knockoff. That's quite a good knockoff, actually. I'm going to be doing a video on this, knockoffs v kind of homages and which one's better. The ironic thing is with this watch, if they put another name on it other than Rolex, because like I say, this is a Chinese knockoff, but it's a very good knockoff. But if they put something like, I don't know, Air Diver or some kind of other name, that would be a very good watch, and it would have been very cost effective. This was around about 250 quid if you wanted it. It's got a very poor movement in, but I'm planning on modding that and actually de-Rolexing it so it can actually be used as a proper watch. Because I do have a thing about Rolex, not even the fake Rolexes. I just have a thing about Rolex themselves. Because if you've got a Rolex on your wrist, the amount of people that will come up to you and say, "Ooh, is that fake?" And I just, it's like when I went around I wore this Pangine for a week, and I had at least 10 people come up to us, 2 of them going, "Oh, nice Rolex." No, it's not Rolex. Oh, nice Hulk. That was the other thing. And I even give it to one person. I went, "Hey, have a look." I says, "You won't guess what it is." And he went, "Oh, well, it's a Rolex." And that's the thing that I don't like about Rolexes. You can spend £14,000 on a sub Hulk. I've got a 60 quid Pangine sub homage there, and it filled even a person in its hand. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't a watch person by any means, and that's the reason. Non-watch people know Rolex. They see Rolex, they see something that looks like Rolex and goes, "That's a nice watch. You've got money." But like I say, that's 60 quid and I still got away with it. Anyway, let's have a look. Levy, meant from the engineering perspective, the volumatic, the speccy makes sense. It does. Like I say, from me, this is the problem. When you get into engineering, you think on a totally different level. It's weird. It might just be because I've got slight OCD. You have to have something wrong up here to be a proper engineer. It sounds weird. I've got multiple things wrong with me. But yes, volumatic space with spaghetti. If you want to panic buy something, buy spaghetti, not pasta, because it packs easier in a cupboard. That is my takeaway topic for tonight. Go try it. Get 20 packs of spaghetti and get 20 packs of pasta and tell me which one fits in your cupboard better. Right, back off that. Let's have a look here. I work in Seattle, living, so things are getting kind of weird around here as well. I think you're on the back end of it, because I know Europe's now the epicenter, but I think America's starting to kind of get into it because Trump's been weird with what he's doing. He's now cut it all off, but I think it's a bit too late. I think it's already got in. Once you can't stop it. It's just slow progression at the end of the day. I'll see you 2 packs of Bogrel Andrex Green for Daniel Wellington. Oh, no, not Daniel Wellington. Don't even get me started on the topic of that. Seriously, the mortality rate is very, very low. It is. Don't get me wrong, it's around about 2 to 3% at this moment in time. But the thing is as well, what you have to look at it, if you look at the age ranges, it's at the top end of the age range, and it's with people that have got multiple medical issues. And don't get me wrong, it's not good. Like I say, people dying is not good at any means, but it is people that have got underlying medical issues that it's affecting most. People who are healthy and under 60, even older people that are healthy and not actually got that many medical issues are surviving quite well and not actually noticing it. But hey ho, back to watches. Let's have a look. What is your opinion on the Steinhardt watches? German watch brand, Switch engineer. Do you know what? I like them. I do. I've had two through my hands. I've had a GMT version. I've had the 39mm. I've done a review on it. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look. I forgot what it is now, but I do like them. They are quality watches. They are a lot of money, but yet again, and this is yet again, it's the homage argument all over again, is a lot of people are buying them because they look like Rolexes. And that's not a bad thing, because Rolex design is a good design, hence why people buy them. But I just feel it's a bit kind of living off the brand. However, I would buy one of them over a Rolex. And that's saying something, because I just don't want the stigma around having a Rolex on my hand, or something that would cost like 14 grand on my wrist. Like I say, the most expensive watch I have had was my GMT, which is now back in Switzerland somewhere getting its movement changed because of the bloody date issue. Sorry for the swearing. That will come out every now and again, because, like I say, I didn't have any beer, I had whiskey, so... Nice little tipple there. Now, like a bit of Jack Daniels and honey. Let's have a look there. Every time I see a Rolex, I always wonder. But that's what you do. That's the thing with Rolex, and that's what I don't like about it. At the end of the day, Rolex is a great advertising brand. That's what they are. They were good with their advertising. And the watches themselves, you can pick up a watch that is on par with a Rolex for a quarter of the price. I don't care what anybody says. Even the Tudors, in my mind, with the in-house movements that work, like the BB58, they are on par with a Rolex. I don't care what anybody says. The quality of them are on par. Half the parts are made in the Rolex factory. It's just, that is it. They're even tested alongside Rolexes. But because it's got the Rolex crown on it, you pay a lot more money. And like I say, people are buying Rolexes on the grey market, yet again, to hoard, to sell on for more money. It just brings back to the whole kind of virus hoarding thing, doesn't it? It's all getting back to toilet paper. Oh, no, there's more toilet paper in here. I've started something off here, haven't I? Let's have a look there. Unless it's on a used car dealer. Do you know what? I went to a dealership the other day, and he was trying to sell us a Vauxhall Corsa. That's what he was trying to sell us. Now, I pulled up in a BMW. I'm not bragging here. I've got a 3 Series BMW just because I wanted a big capacity diesel, and they did a 3 litre, and I went, I want that, and it was a big estate. And I pulled up in that, and he tried to sell us a Corsa for like 10 grand or whatever, or for 12 grand brand new. And he was wearing a Rolex, and I could tell just by looking at it, it was fake. It was just the most blatant fake Rolex ever. And he did the thing that they normally wear the hands up like this, just to blatantly show they've got a Rolex on the wrist. But the problem is, unless it was a 2001 Subaru with that horrible Jubilee bracelet that rattles like anything, it wasn't. It was actually an Explorer. And I looked at it and I thought, that is as fake as anything. So just don't do that. Now, I was actually wearing my Tudor Black Bay 58. And he commented on it, he goes, he says, is that Rolex? Yet again, a guy who kind of is just a generic person who buys a Rolex because he knows Rolex, or fake one anyway. And I went, no, it's a Tudor, daddy-da, this is how much it cost. And you could see it ticking through his mind of, okay, so you've actually paid £2,000, even though he's paid like 100 quid for a watch that looks like 8 grand, which it didn't. But anyway, let's have a look. Hoops, hope you and yourselves keep well. Well, like I say, we're keeping it all right. We're just doing everyday business. Like I say, my company might shut up. Not my company, but the company I work for, because we can work from home on. We've got basic CAD spec laptops to design stuff on. So we might get sent home next week. We'll see. I did get sent home on Friday because we actually got attacked by a virus which took down all the networks. So that's the other thing. Because piles, just another off topic. Piles of people are starting to go to remote computers, so people can work from home. And piles of hackers have jumped on that, and when they're upgrading the systems to do remote login, they've then snuck into the system and put in like hijack or melt? I forgot where they have to pay to unlock everything, and we got hacked by that on Friday. So I don't even know if I go in on Monday if I'm actually going to be able to work. So that's another thing. Oops, hope you keep. I will keep well, like I say. We're just carrying on. Like if I get it, like I say, most of the people in my family are quite young. I'm the oldest at 28. Obviously, my dad and that are older, but not like 60s. So hopefully it'll pass by. If we get it, though, we get immunity, we then kind of protect ourselves. It's called herd immunity. That's what the UK is doing at this moment in time. It's kind of relying on at least 60% of the population getting it, which then tries to prevent the actual spread of it. whereas a lot of other companies are just closing themselves out, which means if all you need is one more person who's actually infected when everybody gets released to kind of restart the whole process again. It doesn't make sense in my mind. Yeah, again, my analytical kind of mind just can't make out with that one, but hey ho. What is your opinion on Steinhardt watch, a German brand? I've already gone over that. Yes, like I say, a good brand. We get special kind of weird, though. We forget that is the rest of the world. We do. I delve into stuff. Watches, there's a few topics that I do, and like I say, I'll name a few of my hobbies. Watch collecting, trains. Do not skip me on that one. I've been in trains for a long time. Engineering, because I'm just big geek. Motorbikes, cars, I'm very much into them too. I've got, like I say, I like my cars, I like my motorbikes. I've got 4 motorbikes at this moment in time, one in the conservatory behind you. And a lot of archery, that's another thing I'm big into, fish. It's I just like to get into things to take me out of this world we live in today, because it's just a massive hysteria, and I just get sick of it. It's just a right pain in the arse. David, used toilet rolls or one, David? Well, 3 years. I would rather use toilet rolls, to be honest. I would not have a Wellington on my wrist. I just can't. That might be saying anything. I've had one in my hand. I've had one of a engineering apprentice who goes, "Oh, you're into watches. What do you think of that?" He didn't like us after. He hasn't talked to us since, actually. I better make things right with him anyway. I'll give him a proper watch. I'll give him this Casio, which you can. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers, like I'm saying, I'm going to be giving this Casio away. It is this watch right here. This is just still packaged with the sealing tape on, so I haven't unopened it yet, but it's basically this watch here without the Hydra mod done to it. 1,000 subs, I will be doing a video. If you've already subscribed, you're already halfway there, put it that way. Let's have a look. If I'm ever seen wearing a Rolex, you can damn sure bet it's a fake. Well, to be honest, majority of people's are. Generally, the only thing, and I'm going to get shot here, of wearing a fake Rolex is if you're trying it out to see what it's like on the wrist for any period of time. That is not an excuse, because you can get a homage very close. However, after having that deep sea on my wrist, I can guarantee I will not ever look at a deep sea again, because I like my big watches. That is just unwearable. It's just absolutely huge as anything. But that's the only thing I can kind of say is I'll get shot yet again. Pay £300 for a fake Rolex, which is basically a one-to-one copy on the case, just to see how it wears before you pay 14 grand for that Rolex you want. You want to try it out, and you're not going to get a chance. Don't get me wrong, if you buy it at retail, you can flog it on for basically double its price. Then you're win-win if you don't like it. But to be honest, you're never going to get that scenario with the stainless steel ones. Engineering myself, good trade. It is. I'm actually put what engineer you are. Actually, we'll start off a topic on that. But I'm a subsea hydraulic engineer. So I'd mess with fluids down to very deep depths. We basically dig trenches at the bottom of the sea to lay subsea cables. We do also do robs and stuff for things. Matter of fact, do you know that this is a very interesting morbid fact, but that footballer that died in the middle of the sea, crashed down in a plane, one of our ROVs actually went down and actually recovered the plane and obviously the body of him and actually put it back up. I actually worked on the vessel a couple of weeks ago to install a system, so that's another fact. But that, yeah, again, another one. Haha, you made me laugh. I try not to, well, to be honest, I make people laugh anyway. You just look at us and people fall about laughing. I think it's just, there must be something wrong with me. There's lots of things wrong with me. Like I say, I've got 50 watches in front of us. That is, if there's nothing wrong, there's, that says there's something wrong. I'm geotechnical. Yeah, geotechnical, yeah. I did geography at school. That was about as much as I went. I like mining. I'm into mining as well, but UK kind of Margaret Thatcher threw that all down the pan. But I am very interested in mining history. But that is a very good job to have, to be honest. I can say being very interesting. You made me laugh. I hope we can do that there. You're a hard bargainer. Snack one fresh roll, Kyle. That's your experience with Tessel. I'm more interested in the flinging than the diver. Do you know, in all honesty, with that Fingine, or no, not Fingine, with like the cheap homages, I haven't actually got my hands on the Tessel. Like I say, I've got my hands on the Fingine, which was cheaper than that. And don't get me wrong, for £13 for an automatic watch just to say as a beta, it was all right. Don't get me wrong, I broke it. Hence why I don't have it no more. However, I went back to AliExpress and they actually refunded us the money. because I just put it on the side one day and just didn't want to start the next day, and I couldn't be bothered to strip it and actually see what was the matter with it, so I just kind of got my money back on that one. But from what I've heard and from the look of it, I think they are a good watches. Now, for the Flieger, now it's actually one style of watch I don't have in my collection. I need to get a Flieger style watch. If you can recommend a Flieger style watch, please put in the comments, because I'm fancying one. I know Helm Dollar have got one going at this moment in time for £100. I think it's going to finish at midnight, with an NH35 movement in it. It doesn't have any branding on either, so it's just a sterile black dial in the Flieger style, so that might actually be good if you're wanting something like that. And this isn't just saying something I wholeheartedly like Helm Dollar. They're very good. They've got very good customer service, and they've got 2 years warranty. And the majority of watches are Sapphire. They've got an NH35. They also do ETA and Selita movements in the watches if you want to actually pay the premium. And even then, they're around about 250, 300 quid, which is still a bargain with that movement. And very cool. How about Helm? Getting one soon. I looked on the site before, and Helm's one of these watch brands. It's like Zelos. If you aren't, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure I'm thinking of the right brand here. If you're not in quick enough, they sell out like that. And I think these are the ones that have got the very big kind of bold dials and the big bold hands. And I'm sure there's around about 3 models of them, the Helms. But I really want, if it's the one I'm thinking about, I really do want one. But I'm sure the one I wanted was sold out. But I'm going to have to try and jump on the next model to release. Which one are you getting, Helm-wise? Put in the comments below, Levy, and put that in there. Also, if I pronounce any of your names wrong, please, I do apologise. And the other thing is, I'm going to try and keep these streams to around about an hour long. So it's around about 50 minutes. You've got another 10 minutes with us, and I hope, like I say, you've enjoyed it. And I do just rant on, like I say, I just go off on tangents. I go here, there, and everywhere, watches, all that, and here-ho. But like I say, if you do actually like these, I'll keep doing them. Like I say, I'm going to do them bi-weekly and try them. Once I get 1,000 views, I'll be laughing. Like I say, and even the few years that have come along today, thank you, because the support, I do feel like I'm doing something right. And like I say, it's just nice talking to like-minded people like myself, because I'm not surrounded by many like-minded people like myself, but it might just be because I'm weird. That might be it. Ask myself there. It is the watch brand I was thinking of, because that was one of them that I saw. Yes, I haven't had one in the hands, but looking at them and looking at reviews, they are very, very kind of recommended by people, and I would like to get my hands on one. I might see if I can. If any of you do have one that you can send us do a review on, please, by all means. I will pay the money to send it back as well. I do that. I might be out of pocket by the end of the month, because I'm sending piles of watches back to people at £8 a pop. It's not very cost effective, especially when I'm not making any money on the channel. But here, I had a Helm card in my basket, and when I tried to add the short clasp, they sold out, and the one in my basket disappeared. That's the thing. See, this is the thing with these type of watch brands. They do very good watches, but I guarantee if you don't jump on them fast enough, they will sell out. Like I say, Zelos is the one at this moment in time, which is, sorry, a bit snotty. No, I haven't got the virus. Don't run away. Zelos is another one, because these sell out quickly. The Mako 3, which I've got in me little kind of cabinet there, basically sold out within a few weeks and didn't even reach the main price list, and all 6 of the variants sold out. You can still get them on Serious Watches if you do want one, but they're a slightly higher price. I think they're around about $599 or $499, but if you do want one, go there, because what they do is Zelos release and then they put them up at their price, and then they go to Serious Watches. But I think that's a different batch, because I think they are numbered differently, but I could be wrong there. Let's have a look here. Getting in post YouTube review. review. I got confused with that one. Don't get me wrong, like I say, wait, drink more whiskey, that'll fix it. It's like the bearded fish and what Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy translates for me. Drop by to say hi. Hello, yet. Young, like I say, I'm only going to be on for another 10 more minutes, but thank you for dropping by. It's much appreciated. Like I say, even the ones that have stuck with us through the whole thing, you must be insane, because I don't even know what I'm talking about. So you must have liked what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying. It did something about loo roll and spaghetti halfway through, I think. Do not mix them two up. Let's have a look there. Drop by, say hi. Hello. Yeah, Young, thanks for coming by. Craig Rogers, hi, new to the channel, great content. Thank you, Craig. I will get the levies. I'd like to say I do try my best, but the way I do my channel is I try and be honest. Like I say, the majority of my watches are all bought by myself, and like I say, that because I put the money into the channel, which is out my own pocket, I work for everything I put into this channel. I do kind of put my heart and soul into it. Where are you from? Great accent. Well, it's good old Geordie, if you want to know. I'm actually, Newcastle is just that way, Durham is just that way, so I'm kind of in between. I'm not actually Geordie myself because I was born south of the Tyne, so I'm in that mid-ground, but I do have quite a strong Geordie accent. My son, however, was born in the RVI north of Newcastle, so I do have a Geordie in the family. Get on. But yes, my accent is Geordie. It does get confused for Irish, and if you do say that, I will get offended. No, I won't. I am ginger. I've got an accent that sounds slightly Irish, and most of the lasses find it sexy. So you know, you can't go wrong with that. I don't know if the wife thought that when she met me. I think she just thought, oh, I feel sorry for him. That was the case. I just felt like a lost puppy back then. But hey ho, that's another tangent totally. So we'll get on with that. Yes, Geordie accent. But thanks for that. And like I say, hope you stick around for the channel. And like I say, there's a giveaway coming up as soon as I hit 1,000 subscribers. This little Casio here, which is the same as this one, will be getting given away to a lucky subscriber. And like I say, I will be posting a video up once I hit 1,000 subscribers to tell you how you can actually join. If you're already a subscriber, you're halfway there. I'm going to put it that way anyway. Just off to use up some toilet roll, so we'll say thank you, Kyle, and cheerio till next time. Cheerio, do not use too much toilet roll. There's only 2 squares allowed for a number 2 and 1 square for a number 1. If you do use toilet paper for number 1s, that might just be weird. You know Anton Deck. Hey, that's. Do you know what? No, I don't. I haven't actually met Anton Deck. The closest famous Geordies I've met are the hairy bikers. If you know them, look them up. They do cooking and they like bikes, so it's basically 2 of my great things: food and motorbikes. That's it. I am in a happy world. Match that with watches. Well, hey, I'm on a winner. But yes, I've met the hairy bikers. I haven't met Anton Deck. No doubt Deck is wandering around looking a bit hazy most of the time because, oh, wait there, stop it. I shouldn't say that. He's not an alcoholic. No, not like I'm sitting here drinking some whiskey. No. But anyway, Ant wears an Explorer 2 on Britain's Got Talent. He does. Do you know what? Good point out there, actually. I noticed that. It's got to be around about 2 months ago. I noticed that on one of the things. And yeah, it does. And to be honest, for a Rolex, the Explorer 2 is one that I would actually wear because it's understated. Yet again, in the whole Rolex scheme of things, unless you honestly know a Rolex and you actually see the dial, you would look at that watch and not instantly say a Rolex. It's normally the Submariners where people look at it and go, that's a Rolex. And that's, yeah, I can actually get away with that. What's that that's just popped up? Now live on channels. Yes, I know I'm live. I've just got a notification saying I'm live. Yes, I'm not dead. There we go. Knock that off. Let's have a look there. Let's have a look from one of the previous years. I think it was 2 years ago. Because like I say, I was watching Catch Up. I was watching one of the, I've forgotten which act it was. It was one of the famous acts I was watching, and I noticed that. I have an Ocean 39 one. It's great, except the extremely tight bezel. Yes, I got one in to review. If you haven't seen my review on that very watch, the 39, it does have a very tight bezel. It was it was one of the criticisms I had, one of the few, because it was a good watch overall, in all honesty. It fit my wrist absolutely perfectly. Has a slightly long lug to lug, but was just say short enough to be comfortable. But yes, the bezel action is very, very tight. I did see, because the watch I had was basically brand new, it might kind of wear in over time, because I know a lot of the mods I do, the bezel action does free up over time. So yeah, it was one of those up to debate. But how long have you had it? Is it something that you've had for a long time? It's kept tight. Like I say, a good bit of lubrication might fix that. That's my best fix for tight bezels: lubrication. Cheers, I'm having a vodka where I am. Isn't Jimmy Neal a watch guy? He is, yes, he is. I don't know much of his watch collection, though. I do know he's a watch guy. I'm sure there's a video knocking around somewhere of somebody going through the watches he got. If I can find it, I might put them on my Facebook channel, but yes, he is. I know he's got a fair few Rolexes. I know that. But yes, Jimmy Neal is a very good watch guy. Like I say, I'm terrible. Like I say, I've only got a couple of expensive pieces in my collection. No doubt that's the way it's going to stay. I just can't kind of bring my mind to actually buying any expensive watches. Same problem with the Islander, Long Island watch. Last two I've bought, I had to take apart and lube up the bezel. All good after. A lot of people, and this is a thing, this is one thing when you're in taking watches apart. It actually, to be honest, is general watches, motorbikes, engineering. People put seals in dry, and any reason though, if you're going dry, it is not good. You have to lube things up. Just remember that. All blokes remember that. Because if you put in a seal dry and you start to twist it, it starts to go into shear and it starts to twist, it starts to deform. And the worst thing is, especially with bezels, if you put in a dry seal and it does decide to actually shear, you'll get a loop, and the loop will then actually go out your O-ring groove and up into the bezel. And at that point, it just locks up and you can't use it. And the same is true for the case back. If you don't actually put a case back in lubed, your chances are you will actually start to put the actual O-ring in shear, and then you actually, chances are, worst cases, you break the seal. Other cases, you get a thick bit of seal and you get a thin bit of seal, and the thin bit of seal will not seal properly. So always lube up your seals before you go in and you tighten anything up. That's me, another fact of the day. Spaghetti, buy that, not pasta, and lube up your seals. That's the two. Yeepers, it was bone dry. Same as the case back. Yes, you need to lube them up, and this is even manufacturers don't do it. And this is the thing, Long Island watches, they come across as being very professional. Don't get me wrong. And to be honest, he won't be the one putting them together. The guy won't be the one putting them together. There'll be a factory, and I'm going to say this now, in China, which no doubt works exactly the same place that do the helm dollars, because this is my theory, and I could be wrong. I can guarantee if I bought a helm dollar and I put it next to a Long Island watch and stripped it, I would find a lot of similarities. And guess which one's cheaper? It just has a helm dollar logo one, which I think actually is better than the actual Long Island watches. I was debating whether to put a video up with my suspicions, but I needed a Long Island watch to do, because I will not put a video up just based on pure opinion. I always get the facts first, because a lot of people get stung with that, just saying, no. But no, you need the facts before you put a video up. But my total opinion is Long Island watches, there's no different than a Helm Dollar SKX homage at the end of the day. The older ones, though, because the Helm Dollar have changed the design and all the mod parts just don't fit no more. Need to do a video on that as well. Spaghetti and seals. Yes, remember that. Spaghetti and seals. If you haven't learned anything from this video yet, I'm slightly overshot now. I'm going to give it another 5-10 more minutes, then I'm going to have to go, because I need to finish my whiskey and I also need to kind of get some hygiene on, because I haven't washed my hands within 10 minutes. I might get something. I feel overcome. I wish I had some paracetamol, because that's another thing that's going by to buy. There's no paracetamol in this country either. What's the best way to lube it up? Well, what I find is, if you get your O-ring in one hand, right, and you get your fingers in the other, and I normally have a rubber glove on, and I get some oil. Now, the oil I use is something called, on those type of things, called slug slime, which is actually quite good. It's very slippy, but it's very thin, so it kind of gets everywhere. And you just kind of run the O-ring through your hand, just pull through your nipped fingers, which has the oil on, gives a nice coating on it, put it in, tighten it up, job's a good one. Other thing, if you take your case back off, it is good practice to replace the O-ring in the back. Don't get me wrong, it will still hold, but it is good practice to always replace O-rings. The only ones where that is the exception is Vostok's, because they use a different O-ring kind of setup. Don't actually use an O-ring, they compress it, and it's not actually in shear because it's got like a lock and nut on top of the case back. Vostok engineering is absolutely superb. If you haven't seen that video, please go and watch it. It's on the GMT one. Best way I've covered lubing up. Yes, yeah, I think the Helm Dollar is a winning contender between the two. In all honesty, it is. If you look at the specs of the Long Island watch and the Helm Dollar, they're basically identical, and that's what makes me think they come out the same factory. But because he's got he's already got the following and all that. Pardon me. People are just buying the watches. But in all honesty, how many people, and I'm not going to be shy about this fact, are giving me Helm Dollars to mod, to put different dials in, actually make a D Helm Dollar, a D branded, but put like maybe a 55 fathom dial. Even the meteorite dials, these ones that I'm picking up now, people are wanting us to actually put these in, and these have got Seiko written on them. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a whole debate about is it a fake, is it not, and this, that, and the other, but in all honesty, this is going into a Seiko, so this isn't actually going into a Helm dollar. But people are asking us to do that, and people have asked us to put Seiko dials in, such as like the 6105 homages from the Turtle homages from the Apocalypse Now, and asking us to put Seiko aftermarket dials in them, which is a bit of a kind of a fuzzy ground, because then where do you draw the line at homage and fake? It's one of those things, and it's very loose ground that I'm treading on with that, and yeah, it's going to. I don't know if it's going against my morals or not, but the way Seiko is going at this moment in time, I'm a bit peed off with them, if I'm all honest. Spit on it, nah, silicon lube. Well, if the only thing you've got spit's good enough. But no, best thing is silicon lube's the best because it's quite inert. It doesn't react with rubber that much. There's a lot of lubrications out there which if you put with rubber seals, it will degrade them. So it's best to kind of get pure silicon oil is the best stuff, or something that does say it's inert and won't react with anything. Yeah, same specs. I bet they're good. Yeah, they will do. Do you know what? Orient is taking over from Seiko because they're making... My opinion is, at one point, Seiko and Orient were on the same level. However, what Seiko have done with the Seiko 5 series, they've gone way down and kind of just gone for the bog standard Joe Public with the fashion watches, which I detest. I hate those SKX style Seiko 5s. They're just totally... They're rubbing pure... I'm not a snob, don't get me wrong, I'm not a watch snob, but they are rubbing the face in all those people that just wanted the cheap diver because they like them. And now they're saying, right, if you want that expensive diver that's scratching your itch, you have to pay like up to £1,000 to get it. Like I say, some of Seiko's new Prospect range are going for like thousands of pounds. Like I say, the new Marine Master 300 limited edition, £7,000. £7,000. Don't get me wrong, it's got like, I think it's got a spring drive in it and stuff like that, but £7,000, I can get a Rolex for that. I'm not getting a Seiko. I'll get a Grand Seiko, but then it's got Grand Seiko on it, not just Seiko Prospects. It's beggars belief, don't get me wrong. But yes, Orient are definitely there, and Orient divers are phenomenal. And to be honest, if you're into modding, there's a lot of people doing mod parts for Orients now, and you make them look like a very unique, very nice-looking watch. Logistically, let's have a look. Logistically and manufacturing-wise, it makes total sense for them, everything watch-wise, to come out of China and to... I think it's lost me except for the Bambino. It was cheap to sell anyway. Do you know what? And this is all honesty. The class Swiss watches, the classed as a Swiss-made watch, only 60% of the watch has to be made in Switzerland. Please quote me if that's wrong, but that's in my head at this moment in time. Now, if you only need 60% of your watch to be made in Switzerland, which is obviously very expensive, where's the other 40% of the parts coming from? Come on, people. I know fine well Tudor, with their in-house movements, some of the components in that movement come from India. So, yeah, even though 60% of the watch components comes from Switzerland, the other 40% come from India. Basically, well, some of them come from India. And that just shows, isn't it, if you need to cut corners, it is just basically, they will do it. They won't tell you. As long as it's got Swiss made on the dial, that's all they care about. So as long as they meet that minimum spec, it's like dog food. To class as being beef dog food, you only need 4% beef in it in the UK, or 4% chicken. It could be the case it's got 12% chicken in the beef, so it's actually chicken. But because it's above 4%, it can class as beef. It just... You've got us on another topic altogether, and I'm overrunning quite a bit on this. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at rod pound at 51%. It's better than 50%, I guess. Spread margarine on your toast before lubing your gaskets. Don't use butter, it smells bad after a week or two. Use some homemade. On a Vostok, everything else will destroy them. Vostoks, use margarine. Like I say, to be honest, if you use margarine, it's basically just plastic. It is just, don't get me wrong, in the sense of it, if you look at it as a polymer, it is a plastic, the way it's actually done out, even though it's not made from plastic, it is technically, if you look at the mass of plastic. That's why in some states of America, margarine is actually dyed red, and you can't actually sell it. It's actually, there's some laws about margarine in some states. And also, to get if you want a fully buttered croissant, it has to be straight. A bent croissant doesn't use all butter, it uses margarine. I learned that the other day. Take these for all your pub quizzes, by the way. I'm full of useless facts like that. Yeah, very weird facts. I can tell you some facts about kangaroos, but I would have to censor the channel if I said that. Let's have a look. Probably the only way glycerine gets away with it. It is, in all honesty, and to be honest, glycerine do some expensive watches, which, yet again, there is a glycerine at this moment in time on drop. If you haven't heard of drop, go and have a look. I've actually just bought a watch off drop, which I'm waiting for it to be sent, where people kind of say what watches they want or what items they want. They put all the money in and then they buy it in bulk so they get it cheaper. But there's a glycerine on there at the moment, which doesn't look too bad. It's a GMT, but it's weird. It's 24 GMT, but the actual normal hour hands are 12. It's actually a 24-hour dial that's got on, so you've got two 24-hour hands in that. In retrospect, it does look quite good. 6% of the value of the watch. Yes. In all honesty, if it was 100% Swiss made, yes, you would put an extra 40% on it. Like I say, time in the UK. Hello, good. Thanks for joining us. Like I say, I've overshot a bit, but I'm just keep going. There's plenty of people here listening to us jabs, so I'll go on for another 10 minutes, I should say. But yes, that's the thing. You can see it like that. You're getting a Swiss made watch, which is cheaper because it's using 40% outsourced ports from other countries, so you can see it like that, so people can get cheaper watches. There is, like I say, it swings and roundabouts. There's good side, there's bad sides. I can see both. Like I say, hit the like button before you go, guys. Yes, please do. Like I say, it helps me out a lot. And like I say, if you've just joined, 1,000 subscribers, this watch will be getting given away. It's one of these Casios without the Hydra mod. This is still sealed, hence why it's still in the packet, but as you can hear, it's still in there. But yes, please, if you've liked it, please do hit that. It makes my channel, helps it out a lot. Like I say, I personally just keep funding this channel myself, so I get nothing out of it other than the enjoyment of actually spreading the watch love, like the margarine on sales. I don't know what conversations I've got into with this channel. I honestly don't. Made in India at 6 o'clock instead of Swiss made. But you know what? I've got some Mumbai special Seikos, and in all honesty, they are quite good. Like I say, it's for 18 quid for an automatic watch, which isn't 100% put together right. It is good. I think Jody at Just One More Watch actually did that, and he got a decent watch from India, and it was good. It was a the blooming Franken watch, but it did still work, still told the time. 100% of the watch can be made in China. The assembly costs give the 60%. Oh, okay, so that's the way it goes, percent of the watch costs. So as long as it's basically the watch can be made in China, the assembly. So basically it's the assembly cost that's 60 quid. So that's even that puts my thing to shame. Thanks for correcting us there. But no, time in the UK, I knew it was something to do with 60%. I thought it was actually parts made in there, but that makes more sense, to be honest. Glen Sheen, yep. Levy, I have love-hate with mine. Luckily I got a pre-Invicted. Yeah, I did, to be honest, yeah. You were lucky to get a pre-one, to be honest. Bits and Bobs sounds like massdrop.com. It is. They've changed the name to Drop. It was Mass Drop, but they changed it to Drop for some reason. I don't know why. But in all honesty, I watch it just for the thing because I got a. Is it an Argon? Argon? I think it's an Argon watch. There was a dive watch up there, which is only 300 quid. I bought it for $99. $300. I bought it for $99. It's coming in. It is bright green with red. It looks absolutely horrible, but I loved it just because of that. It's a dive watch of some sort. It's got a hexagonal case. It's quite big, but the lug-to-lug's actually within the case itself, so I think it'll work quite well. Review on that to come when it does come in. If the movement is to be considered Swiss, 51% of the value must be Swiss, and at least the wheel must be made in Switzerland, which, yet again, that's what that Tudor is. Like I say, I know some of the parts out of that Tudor are from India, and no doubt China. So, like I say, no doubt the part of my GMT that is breaking all the time, which hence why I don't have my GMT, is not made in Switzerland. I'm sure of that. But here, David Lightbone here. Thank you, David. Like I say, big help. As always, like I say, it's just nice to see that I'm filling somebody's night and I'm making a light-hearted thing. In today's age with all this blooming scaremongery and stuff, I just want light-hearted conversation, getting away from all the topics of the day. Even though pasta and cupboards is still on my mind. Get spaghetti. Chris Ward and Tudor cases made in the same factory. I didn't know that, mind. And I'm gonna admit something here. I do like some of Chris Ward watches. The only thing I don't like is the logo on them. One of the apprentices at work has got Chris Ward Trident in blue, and it looks superb. And I would have it, but the problem is just having that Chris Ward name just stuck at the 9 o'clock mark just looks off. Just make yourself a logo. The way the human brain works, it picks up logos better than it does text. And do that. It's like for cars. The reason why cars, and this is just another off topic, the reason cars use analog gauges, like analog watches, is because the brain picks up positions of the indicator faster than it can actually decipher digits. And that's why analog watches, to most people like this, I can tell the time off that quite quickly. My Breitling or any analog watch, I can just look at the time, go like that, because of the position of the hands. When I look at a digital watch, my brain has to process the actual digits on it and then actually put that into a figure. Hence why a lot of people nowadays, well, back when I grew up in school, actually learned analog time faster than digital, which is it's very confusing, because nowadays, because of all the smartphones and all that, people pick up digital faster. But it's not the fact of they read it easier, it's the fact of they're actually exposed to it at a smaller age, younger age. But anyway, let's have a look here. Time in the UK, Chris Ward factory. I need to think of that. Like I say, Chris Ward I do actually like, and I do bite my tongue for that because a lot of people don't. Chris Ward down here in London is advertised as the most packed underground stations. Is it? See, this is the thing up here, and it might just be London, because London, in my mind, London is a separate country to the whole of the UK. Sorry for that. Got wind. That means I can fit more whiskey in. London, in my mind, is like its own separate sub-country, and down there is just totally separate. Up here, Chris Ward is just not advertised. You just do not see it. It is a weird fact. I haven't seen, like I say, the first time I've ever seen somebody wear it was on the apprentice's wrist. And do you know what? Nobody actually picked it up on him. I went over and talked to him. He goes, "Oh, you're a watch guy." And he goes, "Aye, you've got Chris Ward on your wrist." Oh, and we got into talking about watches for a good half an hour during our lunch break. And that's the fact of the matter. That's what I like. And it was just because nobody had seen, like I say, he bought a watch because he liked it, not for the fact that it was popular or it had a popular name, even though Chris Ward is. But in all honesty, Chris Ward up this neck of the woods wouldn't be seen as a brand anybody would know. However, they do make good watches. I have to hold my hands up there. They do make good watches, and I will no doubt buy one in the future. I want a Trident. I might get a Helm Dollar Trident first, because they're a hell of a lot cheaper and look basically just the same and very much nice. But yeah, let's have a look. Chris, does Squire still make cases from other brands? Squeal. I was going to say Squire, Squeal. I want to say yes. I know they used to. I haven't actually looked at most. I haven't looked at up recently, but I know they used to. I don't know if they still do. I've forgotten which brand they used to nick them off. It was another popular brand. They used to nick them off. I've got a Chris Ward. Well, do you know what? I've opened this offer out to you, Time in the UK, a couple of times. If you do want any of the watches that I have here in time, the expensive ones I might keep because I can't cover them through blooming postage. But if you ever fancy doing a review on any of my watches, just say a shout out, and I'll be more than happy to give you one. To loan you for a week or two if you want that. And like I say, I would dare say, that Chris Ward would be nice to review before I get my hands on. But I'm not going to ask that, because that's not the way I do things. Like I say, I'm more than happy to help people out with things like that. I'm not like that. Did you have ticket for the London Watch Show? No, I didn't. See, this is the thing. Since I've become a dad, and before that, I used to be, like I say, I'm big in my bikes. I used to go to all the classic bike shows, and I've actually got 2 show bikes outside. I used to go around showing them down Stafford and all that. However, once you have kids, that just gets put on the head, because it all has to be kid friendly. And motorbikes aren't. And to be honest, me spending the money to go down to look at watches at a show. Do you know what? Literally, the most I get to look at watches is when I go around the Metro Centre, which is the big mall. I say a shopping centre. I'm not going to Americanise it, because I did test that. The shopping centre up north is called the Metro Centre. It's one of the biggest in Europe, and they've got quite a few jewellers, including Goldsmiths, Beaverbrooks, which is where I got my Tudors from. And I literally, the only time I get to look at watches and window shop is when my children are in the soft play, and I've managed to get out myself. And the last time I did that, I've actually bought a Seiko. I've got a Seiko Save the Ocean. I literally walked around, not planning to buy a watch, and I saw the Save the Ocean for cheap, so I bought that. I got told off. Well, no, I didn't get told off by the wife. She came in and goes, what have you done now? And when I bought another watch. Yeah, I'm actually going to sell it, actually, because it was at a price where I thought, I'll see if I like it, and I didn't particularly like it, so I'm just going to sell it on. But anyway, let's have a look. Always use butter on your spaghetti. Still get Marge flashbacks from the student days 30 years ago, saving up for a Casio Pro Trek at the moment. Sorry about that. I've got a bit of congested things. No, I am not. It's common cold. Before you're saying you can't transmit it over the internet. Yeah, I don't like margarine. I've just been down from the in-laws and they use marge. They use stock on everything, toast, bread. I detest the stuff. I like pure butter. I like pure fat on my butter. I like pure fat in me butter. I like pure fat in me butter. I don't like butter on butter. Butterception. No, I do. I detest marge unless it's in a cake, because I like cakes. Marge goes good in cakes. But yeah, like I say, back in the student days, I used to get Lurpak. I'm a Lurpak man, even though that's not pure butter. That's a spread. Where's this conversation going? Sorry, back to watches. Let's have a look. If you have the money and want one, there are still spots in Rolex ad now. We'll take you up on that. Just waiting for some to come back. Like I say, do I want a Rolex sports in a Rolex ad now? See, the problem is I want to have a Rolex at some point in my life. The stigma around them, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know whether I'll buy one for the stigma. Do you know what? I would have an Explorer 2. That's the one I would have. I do have a soft spot for the Hulk, but like I say, the thing that scratched that itch is this Penguin. That scratched the itch for that every day of the week. And like I say, it confused people who had it on. I wasn't lying to them. I didn't say, look, I've got a Rolex. It was like, here. He said, Marge, you can get one for 60 quid yourself. I know one person that actually did, because he liked it that much at work. So that's a good thing. But no, like I say, anytime, drop us a message through my YouTube, or actually, if you go on Grimwood Watch Mud on Facebook, PM me on that, or even me email address, which is on the YouTube channel, and I'll sort you something out. Or even if you want to be surprised by a watch to review, I'll just send one down as a blind package. That should be interesting. And I'll sort you out time in the UK. Don't worry about that. I've got plenty of watches. I shall share the love. Like I say, I'll give you a loan one for a couple of weeks. Let's have a look here. What have we got now? God, 1 hour 20 minutes. I'm going well here. I shall stop at 1 hour 30. I promise, because I need to go and get stuff done. But I haven't finished my whiskey yet, so it's an excuse to sit here and finish my whiskey. I wished I had a beer because I've had too much whiskey. Let's have a look here. If you have the money, right, I don't know if margarine is even legal where I live. Some states, I know it's not. It's banned. Like I say, it's a legal contraband. Hence why the Diet Red, because it's used in some applications. So the Diet Red, it's like red diesel in this country. You can't use it, even though you can use it in diesels, because it's red. It's tax-free and used in industry. And I don't know if it's something like that, the Diet Red, because of that. But yeah, again, another side topic. Some countries, margarine's dyed red. Pub quiz. I'm filling you all with pub quiz knowledge here. Like I say, I'll give you more facts every time I go into a live feed. How come the tiny individual butter sachets and calves taste fantastic, yet the big packs? Do you know? I have to agree with you on the small sachets thing. I'm sorry. We get them at work. I actually get free lunch at work and toast. I get free breakfast at work. It's great where I work. It's absolutely phenomenal. And you get the little sachets of butter, and you use 2, and those rock hard, so you have to mold them in or sandwich them between bread. And they taste a lot better than what you get in the kind of, you get them in the silver foil wrapped kind of packs, and they're never sealed properly. And they always rock hard when they come out of the fridge, so you have to leave them on the side, and then they're too loose, as in too soft, loose, soft, like stools. No, that's disgusting. But you know what I mean. Yeah, I agree with you with the small sachets. Wilco, right. Good one, time in the UK, yes. Levy Stevens Rod, that is $1 million question. Which one's that to? The actual taste of butter? Yes, generally. Anyway, Barry. Yeah, died. Diesel is taxed differently here. The one thing with diesel I don't get, diesel is a byproduct of petrol. However, petrol is more expensive than diesel. Riddle me that one. Do you know why? Because more people actually have diesel vehicles over here. Trains, trucks. Actually, diesel is now the enemy. Hence why I got a 3 litre diesel that doesn't have any blooming ad thing or like that. I do like my diesels anyway. Let's have a look here. Yeah, diesel. Selling soon, my partner's Panerai. Let me know if you want it before I sell. Do you know what? Don't offer me watches at this moment in time because I'm getting a bit twitchy with my trigger finger for watches. But send us pictures though, if you can somewhere. Send me some pictures because I might have a look at it. I shouldn't. I'd like to say I'm terrible. Like I say, I went to the Metro Centre and I got a 215 quid Seiko. Should have been 400 quid, but it was a steal. And then I get a discount from work. My work's great. You get discount cards and everything. So I got for 190 quid for a Seiko Samurai. It was great. Oh yeah, loan off. Yes, I was going to say that's fine with me, mate. Because if you loans, it means I can't buy it. But yeah, no, that'd be great. Like say the Pangines or Pagani, I should say. I don't know how you pronounce it, Pangine or Pagani. Like say when I say Pagani, I think of cars, Zondas and stuff like that, which is an absolutely superb car. If I'm going to get a supercar, it would be a Ford GT40 or Pagani Zonda. One of the later ones, not the road legal ones, not that race spec R, because you can't drive that on the roads. It's stupid. Low enough, not so. Yeah, if you send us some pictures, I'll have just send it. To be honest, if you want to say, like I say, any of the watches I've got here, I will send you. I'll send you a picture of all my collection. You can pick up one you want to review, or if you want a blind bag, I'll give you a blind bag of a couple. What do you think of Barker and Jake's latest Explorer? Do you relate? I just watched the Barker and Jack's video around about 2 hours before this live feed, and if I'm yet again, how do I put this? It is a channel that I'm starting to slowly get bored of. I don't know why. Like I say, I used to like him. I used to like watching his videos. It was good sitting at a desk. Honest, I bought this watch. I shouldn't have. The wife's telling us off and all that. It just seems yet again it's got a bit mainstream, going out, traveling around all this area. However, if we cut all that out, like I say, me rants over about some popular YouTube channels getting a bit mainstream. In all honesty, yes, I can relate. Like I say, the one, if I'm all honest, the one watch I've got a link to, which I will not sell, is my little flighty. And like I say, it's not the most expensive watch in my collection, but this is the thing that started us off on the whole parade. And if I'm honest, I bought this because, like I say, something happened in the family between me and my wife, which, to be honest, was a marking point. It was, like I say, it was distressing. I got this to basically remember it. And at the end of the day, though, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be in the position I am now, which is a very, very good position. But you have to break a few eggs to get an omelette, as they say. And the thing that happened that made me buy this watch, to remember, it was quite a few eggs broken. Don't get me, we didn't do anything, like I say, it wasn't anything. It was totally out of our control, just, natural nature things. But yeah, it hit us quite hard, and that's what I wouldn't sell that because of that. But the fact of the matter is, you can have a watch, just going off there, that's got sentimental value to you, that doesn't need to be like 2,500 quid or 600 quid. You don't need an expensive watch to have it to you. It just has to be with you at a point in life that means something to you. Like, take, for example, and it's my most expensive watch, but the GMT. The reason why, put it this way, as soon as I had the date issue, I would have just went back to the blooming AD and threw it back in the face, because you lied to us. You said this wouldn't have it, and look, it's got it. But the problem is, I was wearing that on the wrist. I've got pictures of me wearing that on my wrist at the birth of my second son. So that watch was there at the birth of my second son. So I can't give it back because it was there at a very crucial point in my life, which is a bit of a bugbear for me, because I would have just got rid of that watch, but I can't now. I should have had the BB58 on, because that's fine. But that's the thing. It's just it did call it was that video. I just didn't like the photography in it. I just got a bit bored of it at the end of the day. I just like sitting down having a chat like I am here, and that's what I try and do in most of my videos. We'll move on eBay. Like I say, tell you what, and this is the thing, I've been watching a watch, total side chance yet again. If any of you are into Seikos and monsters, I've been looking for a Frost Monster, which is the Gen 3s, and I found one on eBay, and it was at 250 quid. It went for £532. That was like 2 hours ago. I was going to put in a bid, but I thought I'm not paying that much for a monster, which basically I've got five I've got 5 monsters there, and I would not pay 500 quid for a blooming Seiko monster by any means. How many watches is too many? Well, that is a big question. Now, I think it's like a rainbow. So you're trying to get to the rainbow at the end to get the pot of gold. You're never going to get there, but you keep trying. Well, that's basically what watch collecting's like. You just keep buying watches to try and get to the end, but the end keeps getting further and further away. And yeah, that's how many's too many is quite a question. Because to be honest, some people will have one watch in their collection that will cost 50 grand, let's say. That some people would think that is just too much money to spend on a watch, where somebody like maybe myself, who has a lot of watches, in all honesty, the amount of watches here, including the expensive ones, might get to around about 10 grand, in all honesty. And I haven't paid that much for these watches. Some of them I've just bought lucky, and some of them I've even got as freebies and fixed them up. But in all honesty, it's a very loaded question. What is too much? It depends. If you're married with kids, this might be far too much. If I was single without kids, no, not too much at all. Let's have a look here. I started buying watches as having real trivial things outside the banking system. I have built up a collection of £200-300 watches where I would have bought a gold sovereign previously. Yet again, it's another thing with gold. And this is the way I explain it to my other half is, and to be honest, the way I buy things, I only buy things which actually which I can sell on for either the price I buy them at or more. It's just the way I am. Like I say, this one here, this flighty, this is the other flight. This is the SNA 413. So this is the blue and white flight. Exactly the same as the other one, but for some reason, Seiko don't seem to have produced enough of these. I bought that for £112. In the UK, selling them on eBay, I can sell that for £500 all day long. I'm not going to sell because I love it, but that's my metaphor. All the things I pay money on, I'm either going to make me money back if I need to sell them, or I'll make more. And that's just the philosophy I bet. But it's the same with the sovereigns. I say gold is a good thing to put money in because you always going to think. Steals, Rolexes, sport Rolexes, that's where people are putting money in. A lot of people are buying them just as an investment, which takes away from the watch collecting side because it's taken it out of people who want to pay 8 grand for a Rolex, have to pay 14. But in all honesty, good on people for doing that. I would, if I had the opportunity of buying a watch for 7 grand and flipping it for 14, I would, because who doesn't want to make money? Everybody in this world, you can lie through your back teeth. That's, other than propagating and basically spreading your genes around, which we're doing well. I'm doing well anyway. I've got 2 sons. We're here to do that, make money and have a happy life. And if that means buying a watch for 7 grand and flipping it for 14 grand, yes, the people who do it, we do despise because they can do it. But in all honesty, if you had that chance, would you do it? I would. In all honesty, I would. If I needed to, I would. But anyway, let's have a look here. Start buying watches as a way to mindlessly spend money, just like a hobby I've had. It's very efficient money dump. Those flighties are sweet. The flighties are good. If you can get your hands on a flight, even the 411s do, because they're an absolutely great watch. Not mechanical, so you can just hoy them on the wrist anytime. You don't have to wind them up and all that. It is a great kind of bit. The other thing I'm going to say with watches, and this is I'm going to leave you on this thought before I go, because I will really need to go. I've got stuff to do. Like I say, the family's away for a week. I've got a lot to do before they get back up, because I'm getting told off for not doing my errands. The reason, like I say, the reason why I've got the majority of my watches are mechanical, I've got this kind of theory, and it's a bit like a life motto, let's say. And it's physics. Like I say, I'm not religious in any form. Like I say, you can believe in what you want. I'm not one of these people that's going to skit your thought, each to their own. But the way I believe things is energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change its state. And at the end of the day, we are energy beings. We're just full of energy. The way our brains work and everything, synapses, nerves, it's all electric. However, we are always expressing energy, and one way we do that, and in mechanical watches or automatic watches, is a little weight on the end of them. So all the time I'm eating, putting energy into this watch, technically this watch has a part of me in it. I am putting energy in this watch that I have generated. This is part of me in this at this moment of time, ticking away. If I take this off the wrist, it's ticking away. That's my energy in it. My idea is, if for any reason I was to kick the bucket one day and I had one of these on the wrist, and this is the way I say it to my family, right, if I've got one of these watches on my wrist and I do kick the bucket for any reason. I'm not going to, I'm healthy and all that, but you'd never know. You can only mourn me, as in, like, be upset for the time this watch stops ticking, because that is me. That's me around, sitting there. I'm still got a bit of energy in that watch. As soon as that watch runs out of energy, yes, I am gone. But after that, celebrate my life, do all that. And that's, like I say, it's a weird way to think about mechanical watches, but it's an energy source that has my energy in it. The only thing is, if you had a kinetic watch, which, can last for 6 months, that's quite a long mourning time, hence why I don't have any kinetics. But yes, that is one reason why I have mechanical watches on the wrist. It's a very warped kind of way of looking at it, but I think it's quite a pleasant way of looking at it, because like I say, at the end of the day, you cannot destroy energy, so somewhere the energy of anybody has gotten themselves will not be destroyed. It does get passed on. I don't know if it goes to a higher power. I don't know if it just gets distributed around the world or whatever, but you cannot destroy it. It is there. It's there to stay. The other interesting fact is the oldest part of your bodies are all 10-year-old. There's nothing older than 10-year-old in all your bodies, because the last thing that actually changes is your skeleton, and that replenishes itself every 10-year-old. So in all honesty, when you're 70, there's nothing actually original about you. So whatever's up here has been passed. So, whatever is making you is not material. It is something else. And that's the way I like to it. But anyway, I'm going to leave that there. So I'll just read a few more comments now, and then I'm going to have to go. But I'm pleased you have all stuck by me. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for sticking by us. It is much appreciated. And like I say, 1,000 subs, this will be given away, and you never know, one of you might get it. I might actually, to be honest, because I know who's at the live stream. Anybody on this live stream, I might actually put you in 2 times for the draws if you do put it on the other video, just as a thank you, because like I say, you've stuck by us this long. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at the last comments. The philosophy with watching life. Yeah, like I say, mechanical things I find as a living being, like say steam engines, cars and stuff, I find them as just an extension of me. It's just the way I look. Levy watch collection is an affliction. It is a very bad affliction, but hey ho. Indeed, it's crippling at times. Yes, it is. Great channel, man. Thanks. Like I say, I do it for the love. That's all I'm doing it for. I'm just surprised I'm actually nearly at 4 figures subs. It's absolutely amazing. But I will try 2 weeks from Saturday, which is the normal times I want to try and do these. I will put on another live feed, so put that in your diaries. If it does change, I will tell you, but I'll try and put a little reminder 4 days beforehand, just saying, look, there's a live feed coming. Please come along and actually have a chat. Like I say, great chat this side. Good and bless you and all our good chats. Lots of energy and butter and there is lots of energy and butter. Calories! You can't beat calories. There's lots of them in these. More whiskey. But like I say, thank yous for sticking by us. It's been an hour and a half. It's been nearly 40 minutes over what I was expecting. I have loved every second of it. And I'm hoping to put a few more videos out this week since I've got the time. So keep watching. And if any is want to even just private message me for any help, advice or anything, even just a chat, please do. Do not think you cannot. Because I know there's a few people have asked me a few questions about modding, and I'm open to all that. The Create-coated chameleon green on the helm door looks amazing. Nice mods. Do you know what? That's one watch. To be honest, I'll never get the money back because I've spent a bomb on Create-coat and that. But yes, thank you for that. Have a good one, buddy. All the best. But yes, good night, yous all. I'm going to end it now before I stay around for another half an hour saying goodbyes. But anyway, cheers for the night. It's been absolutely amazing. And like I say, if you want to watch back and all that shenanigans, and I will try and get a beer next time and not whiskey, because this is just total misadvertising for the channel. But anyway, I shall see you all, and as always, keep safe, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye. Where's the end button? Bye bye now. Am I by it? It's not ending. We're there. I'm ending now. There we go.